This is life in Mongolia, the strangest country where ancient tribes had many lovers. Can you imagine a place where people hunt with eagles, endure winters colder than the North Pole, and practice some of the most bizarre marriage traditions in history? Welcome to Mongolia, a land of ancient tribes, untamed wilderness, and some of the most shocking customs on the planet. But here's a challenge. Could you survive their way of life? Hi Wanderers, welcome back to our channel, the channel that takes you deep into the world's most extraordinary cultures and hidden lifestyles. Today we're traveling to Mongolia, a country often called the land of eternal blue sky. But don't let the poetic name fool you. Beneath its beauty lies a world of hardship, mystery, and ancient traditions that will leave you stunned. From eagle hunters to polyandry and even sky burials, Mongolia's culture is like no other. Stay with us as we uncover the secrets of this fascinating country. And trust me, what you'll learn about Mongolian relationships will leave you speechless. A land of extremes, Mongolia isn't just a country, it's a world of extremes. Let's start with the climate. Imagine waking up in a tent in the middle of the steppe. The air so cold it feels like your lungs are freezing. That's winter in Mongolia, where temperatures regularly plummet to -40 degrees Celsius. But here's the twist. The summers are just as extreme, with scorching heat and sandstorms sweeping across the Gobi Desert. So how do Mongolians survive? The secret lies in the ger, a traditional round tent made of felt and wood. It's not just a shelter, it's a marvel of engineering. The design keeps it warm in winter and cool in summer, and it can be dismantled and packed up in under an hour. But life in the ger isn't just about survival, it's about a deep connection to nature. Mongolian nomads move with the seasons, following their herds of sheep, goats, and camels. This way of life has remained unchanged for centuries, a testament to their resilience and adaptability. Could you live without Wi-Fi, running water, or a fixed address? Genghis Khan, the father of Mongolia. No story about Mongolia is complete without mentioning Genghis Khan. He wasn't just a man, he was a force of nature. Born as Temujin in 1162, he grew up in a world of constant tribal warfare. The Mongolian steppes were vast, dangerous, and divided. Yet, against all odds, Temujin united these warring tribes to form the largest contiguous empire in history. His military genius was unmatched, but there was more to him than warfare. Genghis Khan was a visionary leader. He established trade routes, opened doors to cultural exchange, and implemented laws that ensured justice and religious freedom. Here's a fascinating twist. His legacy isn't just in history books, it's in our DNA. Genetic studies reveal that 1 in 200 men worldwide may be direct descendants of Genghis Khan. That's over 16 million men alive today. Could you be one of them? Even centuries later, his presence looms large over Mongolia. His image appears on currency, vodka bottles, and even giant statues, like the iconic 40-meter-tall Genghis Khan equestrian statue, visible for miles. In Mongolia, his name isn't just spoken, it's revered, as if he never left. But Genghis Khan's empire didn't just shape history, it laid the groundwork for Mongolia's fascinating traditions, including their unique marriage customs. Mongolian marriage traditions, a shocking past. Love and marriage in Mongolia were never just about romance. They were about survival, strategy, and unity. Let's start with something truly unexpected: polyandry. In some ancient Mongolian tribes, a woman could have multiple husbands. Why? It was practical. On the harsh Mongolian steppe, having several men in a household meant better protection, more hands to work, and a higher chance of survival during brutal winters. But there's an even more surprising tradition: marriage by kidnapping. Yes, you heard that right. In some rural areas, a man could abduct the woman he wanted to marry. While this sounds shocking, it was often a symbolic act, agreed upon in advance to sidestep lengthy negotiations. Of course, modern Mongolians have left such practices behind, embracing equal partnerships in marriage. But their weddings remain rich in tradition. One iconic ritual involves drinking airug, fermented mare's milk, from a shared bowl. This symbolizes the couple's unity and shared prosperity. Imagine a wedding where ancient customs meet modern love. A perfect blend of history and hope. What would you do if your wedding started with a staged kidnapping? While marriage traditions reveal Mongolia's creative approach to survival, their relationship with nature shows a whole new level of ingenuity, best seen in the art of eagle hunting. The art of eagle hunting. In western Mongolia, high in the snow-capped Altai mountains, a spectacular tradition endures. It's called eagle hunting. Here, Kazakh nomads train golden eagles to hunt foxes and rabbits. Imagine this. A hunter rides through the frosty wilderness, the wind howling around him. On his arm sits a majestic eagle, its piercing eyes locked on the horizon. This isn't just hunting, it's a partnership built on trust, skill, and respect. Hunters raise these eagles from chicks, nurturing a bond so strong that the birds become part of the family. For 10 years, the eagle serves its master, providing food and fur. Then, in an emotional ceremony, it is released back into the wild, a gesture of gratitude and respect. But here's what's truly incredible. Women are now stepping into this ancient role. Female eagle hunters have proven that strength and skill know no gender. Every year, the Golden Eagle Festival showcases this breathtaking tradition, drawing visitors from all over the world. It's a celebration of courage, culture, and the unbreakable bond between humans and nature. While eagle hunting connects Mongolians to their natural world, another tradition links them deeply to their ancestors, one that reflects how they honor the past and embrace the cycle of life. Sky burials, a sacred goodbye. When it comes to saying goodbye, few cultures have a ritual as profound and unique as the Mongolian sky burial. At first, it might seem shocking. Instead of burying or cremating their dead, some Mongolians leave the body in an open field to be consumed by vultures. But this isn't a random act, it's deeply spiritual. In Buddhist philosophy, the body is considered an empty vessel after death. The soul has already departed, leaving the body behind as a temporary shell. By offering it to nature, Mongolians believe they're giving back to the earth, completing the cycle of life. In this act, death is not an end, but a continuation, where one's remains sustain another living being. Here's a detail you might not know. Sky burials take place in remote, sacred locations, far from human settlements. The quiet solitude ensures the process remains peaceful and respectful. Families gather to pray and reflect, creating a deeply moving farewell filled with reverence and love. Though this practice has become less common in recent years, it remains a poignant symbol of Mongolia's spiritual connection to nature and the cosmos. Could you imagine embracing a farewell ritual like this, where your final act serves the cycle of life? While Mongolia's spiritual traditions reflect their respect for life and nature, their modern society reveals a country caught between the past and the present, an intersection of tradition and transformation. A society in transition. Mongolia is a land of contrasts, where the ancient past coexists with the modern present. Nowhere is this more evident than in Ulaanbaatar, the capital city. Nearly half of Mongolia's population now resides in this bustling urban center. From afar, Ulaanbaatar appears as a city of opportunity, with its growing skyscrapers and bustling markets. But a closer look reveals the growing pains of rapid urbanization. Overcrowding, pollution, and unemployment are pressing challenges. Traditional nomads, drawn to the city in search of better lives, often find themselves struggling to adapt. Yet, even in the face of these difficulties, Mongolians remain resilient. Festivals like the Naadam Festival bring the past to life, with epic displays of horse racing, archery, and wrestling, the three manly sports of Mongolia. These events aren't just competitions, they're celebrations of national pride, uniting urbanites and nomads alike. And here's something fascinating. Even in Ulaanbaatar, you'll find traces of the nomadic lifestyle. From yurts, known locally as ger, in the suburbs, to people still relying on horses for transportation. Mongolia's challenge is one of balance. How do you preserve a 3,000-year-old culture while embracing the rapid changes of a modern world? The answer to that question might just determine Mongolia's future. A future that holds the promise of blending ancient traditions with modern innovations into something entirely unique. Mongolia is a land of stunning contrasts, where eagle hunters soar, nomads thrive in brutal winters, and ancient traditions like sky burials still exist in a rapidly modernizing world. So, what surprised you the most? The polyandry, the eagle hunting, or the sky burials? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through Mongolia, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay curious, stay adventurous, and we'll see you in the next video. A breathtaking aerial shot of Mongolia's vast, untouched landscapes. Rolling green plains stretch endlessly beneath a piercing blue sky. In the distance, a lone rider on horseback moves across the terrain, leaving a faint trail of dust. A dramatic time-lapse of a fierce snowstorm, transforming the land into a frozen wasteland. Aerial shot of the vast Gobi Desert, golden dunes shifting with the wind. What if I told you there's a country so enormous it could swallow France, Germany, and the UK combined, and still have room to spare? Yet 99.7% of it remains utterly uninhabited. Why? Because of the brutal winters, where temperatures plunge to -4 °C? Because of the terrifying Zood phenomenon, where entire herds of livestock freeze to death overnight? Or is it something even more shocking? Wait. What if I told you this emptiness is not just a curse, but also Mongolia's greatest advantage? In this video, we're diving deep into the mysteries of Mongolia's haunting vastness, how its extreme climate, ancient nomadic traditions, and the relentless forces of nature have shaped one of the most unique civilizations on Earth. Stay until the end, because by the time this video is over, you'll never see Mongolia the same way again. Let's begin. The land of endless space. A satellite view of Mongolia, slowly zooming in. The country appears as a vast sea of green and brown, nestled between two giants, China and Russia. Time-lapse of sunrise over the Mongolian steppe, golden light spilling over the horizon. A lone rider on horseback moves across an endless grassland, kicking up dust behind them. Close your eyes and imagine standing in a place so vast, so untouched, that you can hear nothing but the wind whispering across the grasslands. No highways, no towering skyscrapers, just endless space stretching as far as the eye can see. Welcome to Mongolia, one of the last truly wild frontiers on Earth. But here's something mind-blowing. This country is bigger than Germany, France, and Spain combined. That's nearly 1.5 million square kilometers of pure, untamed wilderness. A side-by-side comparison of Mongolia's size against European countries. A dramatic transition to a bustling city like New York, then cutting back to the vast emptiness of the steppe for contrast. Now, you might be wondering, if Mongolia is so massive, where are all the people? Let's put it into perspective. The entire country is home to just 3.5 million people. less than the population of some single districts in major cities. Shocking fact, Tokyo's Shibuya district alone has more people than this entire nation. A dense crowd in Shibuya Crossing, contrasted with an aerial shot of the Mongolian steppe, where a single yurt stands alone in an ocean of grass. But here's the real kicker. Mongolia's population density? Just 2 people per square kilometer. A stunning animation. Mongolia appears on the map, then Texas is placed inside twice. That's right. Mongolia is so vast that it could swallow Texas not once but twice, and still have room to spare. Only Greenland has fewer people per square kilometer. So, what's keeping the rest of the world out of this enormous land? Is it the unforgiving climate, the nomadic traditions, or is there a deeper, more mysterious reason? Stay with me, because what we uncover next will change the way you see Mongolia forever. The harsh climate. A breathtaking aerial shot of Mongolia's snow-covered steppe, where a lone yurt stands against a backdrop of white wilderness. A close-up of a Mongolian herder, his face weathered by the cold, as he tightens his fur-lined deal against the biting wind. A time-lapse of a thermometer dropping rapidly to -40 degrees Celsius. Mongolia isn't just empty, it's a test of survival. In winter, temperatures here plummet to a bone-chilling -40 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius. That's cold enough to make metal brittle, to freeze your breath the moment it leaves your mouth. A frozen river, solid as rock. A close-up of a Mongolian child exhaling, their breath turning into ice crystals in midair. But wait, it gets worse. When summer arrives, Mongolia transforms into an inferno. Temperatures soar to a scorching 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees, turning the steppe into a sun-scorched wasteland. A vast, cracked desert landscape, heat waves rising from the ground. A camel herder wiping sweat from his brow as he guides his animals through the dunes. This land of extremes is unlike anywhere else on Earth. Imagine waking up in a tent, stepping outside into -40 degrees Fahrenheit blizzards in winter, then enduring 100 degrees Fahrenheit heat just months later. The temperature difference between winter and summer can be over 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius. But Mongolia's climate isn't just cold and hot, it's also brutally unpredictable. The deadly Zud disaster. A whiteout blizzard sweeping across the steppe, erasing everything in sight. A herder desperately digging through the snow, searching for his lost livestock. For Mongolian nomads, one word strikes fear like no other: Zud. A Zud is a catastrophic winter phenomenon, where extreme cold, heavy snowfall, and sudden storms kill livestock by the millions. Snow piling up over a helpless herd of animals. Fields of frozen animal carcasses after a Zud disaster. Without their animals, nomadic families lose everything: their food, their income, their future. Some are forced to migrate to the capital, Ulaanbaatar, leaving behind a way of life that has endured for thousands of years. But here's the unbelievable part. Despite these brutal conditions, Mongolians have survived and thrived for centuries. Surviving the unforgiving wilderness. A Mongolian family inside a gyr, huddled around a stove, sipping on steaming sute tsai, salty milk tea. A close-up of a herder's hand, thick with calluses, tightening the ropes of a yurt to withstand an incoming storm. How do they do it? Mongolian nomads have developed extraordinary survival skills. They heat their homes using dried animal dung, one of the only available fuel sources in the vast steppe. Their herds are carefully managed, ensuring that they can sustain their families through the harsh winters. They consume fermented mare's milk, airag, a probiotic-rich drink that helps them endure extreme conditions. And here's something incredible. Even their traditional clothing, the deal, is designed for survival, insulating the body against both the freezing cold and the scorching heat. A slow-motion close-up of a deal being fastened, showcasing its intricate patterns and thick layers. But Mongolia's biggest challenge isn't just its climate, it's the isolation. The loneliest places on Earth. A satellite shot zooming out from a lone gyr in the middle of nowhere. A rider on horseback traveling across a vast empty plain. Imagine living hundreds of miles from the nearest hospital, school, or grocery store. No paved roads, no phone signal, no neighbors for miles. For most of us, this kind of isolation is unimaginable. But for Mongolians, it's simply life. A mother teaching her child inside a yurt, education happens at home. A father riding for hours just to buy basic supplies from the nearest market. In the rest of the world, people move closer to civilization. But in Mongolia, many choose to stay far from it. Why? What keeps them in this harsh, unforgiving land? In the next section, we'll uncover why half of Mongolia's population still chooses the ancient nomadic lifestyle, while the other half is rapidly embracing modern life. Stay tuned. The deadly Zud winters. A slow-motion shot of snow whipping across an endless frozen steppe. A group of Mongolian herders struggling against the wind, their faces half covered in frost. A haunting image of livestock, entire herds frozen stiff, standing as if still alive. Before we explore modern Mongolia, we need to talk about something terrifying. A force so powerful, so merciless, that it has wiped out millions of animals in a single season and pushed entire families into ruin. This is the Zud, a winter phenomenon so extreme it only happens in Mongolia. But Zud isn't just a harsh winter. It's a catastrophe. A map of Mongolia covered in white as temperatures drop to 40 degrees Fahrenheit -40 degrees. A time-lapse of a blizzard sweeping across the landscape, erasing everything in sight. For Mongolian herders, Zud is a life-or-death battle. It happens when brutal snowstorms bury the grasslands, leaving livestock unable to graze. Temperatures plunge to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, freezing animals alive. Ice crusts over the land, making it impossible for animals to dig through to reach food. You wake up one morning, step outside your yurt, and realize half of your herd is gone, frozen overnight. For nomads, their animals aren't just livestock, they're food, their income, their survival. When a Zud strikes, it's not just a bad winter, it's the end of everything. The faces behind the tragedy. A Mongolian herder Bayar, sitting by his yurt, staring at the frozen landscape. His hands, rough and calloused, gripping a cup of steaming sutetsai as he recounts his story. The winter of 2016 was the worst I had ever seen. I lost 300 sheep in 1 month. We tried digging through the snow to find grass, but the ground was frozen solid. We had no choice but to watch them starve. Archival footage of herders using shovels to dig through the snow, desperately trying to save their animals. A tearful mother holding her child, standing outside their yurt as the wind howls. According to a 2024 UN report, the winter of 2009 to 2010 was one of the worst Zuds in history. 8 million livestock perished. That was 17.7% of Mongolia's entire animal population. No animals meant no food. No food meant no income. No income meant families were left with an impossible choice: fight to survive or leave the steppe behind forever. Many didn't have a choice. Thousands of herders abandoned their way of life and fled to Mongolia's capital, Ulaanbaatar, searching for a new beginning. A shot of a herder standing by an empty corral, his head bowed. A contrast shot, Ulaanbaatar's rapidly expanding slums filled with former nomads. The once proud herders, descendants of Genghis Khan, were now struggling to find work in a city they never belonged to. Could you survive Mongolia's harsh winters? A slow-motion shot of frost forming on a man's eyelashes. A lone figure trekking through a blizzard, barely visible in the whiteout. Now, take a moment and ask yourself, could you survive in 9 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit weather, knowing that every morning you might wake up to find your food source frozen solid? Could you endure weeks without electricity, running water, or even a nearby hospital? Tell us in the comments, could you survive a Mongolian winter? And here's the real question. As Mongolia faces more extreme weather due to climate change, can its nomads survive the next Zud? Or will this ancient way of life disappear forever? Stay tuned, because next, we uncover the battle between tradition and modernization, and why Mongolia's future is at a crossroads. Hit subscribe, because you won't want to miss this. Life in Ulaanbaatar. Bustling city streets, traffic jams, and traditional yurts nestled among modern buildings. In a country as vast as Mongolia, it's surprising to learn that over half the population, 1.6 million people, live in a single city, Ulaanbaatar, the coldest capital in the world. To put this into perspective, Ulaanbaatar's population is nearly the same as Philadelphia's, yet it sits in a country 23 times larger than Texas. But rapid growth has brought its own problems: overcrowded streets, choking pollution, and unplanned expansion. Smog-covered cityscapes and people wearing masks. During winter, coal-burning heaters make the air so thick with smog it feels like you're breathing smoke. According to a 2024 WHO report, Ulaanbaatar ranks among the world's most polluted cities during winter. Yet, amidst the chaos, Ulaanbaatar is thriving. It's a city of stark contrasts, where glass skyscrapers rise beside traditional felt yurts, and shopping malls sit next to sprawling open-air markets. Nomadic life in the 21st century. Nomads using smartphones, drones herding animals, and children attending school in yurts. While half of Mongolia's population lives in Ulaanbaatar, the other half continues to embrace a nomadic lifestyle that has endured for thousands of years. But don't be fooled, this isn't your ancestors' nomadism. Today's nomads are digital pioneers. They use smartphones to track weather patterns, sell livestock online, and even monitor their herds with drones. According to a 2024 report, over 90% of rural households have access to mobile internet. A family packing up their yurt and moving to a new location. But the nomadic way of life is under threat. Harsh winters, desertification, and the allure of city life are pulling families away from the steppe. Every year, thousands of nomads move to Ulaanbaatar, leaving behind their traditions for a chance at a better future. The future of Mongolia. On one side, a vast, untouched Mongolian steppe, on the other, a bustling modern street in Ulaanbaatar. Solar panels glistening on the roofs of traditional gurs, a striking blend of old and new. A group of young Mongolian students in a classroom studying technology and environmental science. Mongolia stands at a crossroads. For over 3,000 years, this land has been home to one of the world's last great nomadic cultures. But today, rapid change threatens to rewrite its future. Urbanization is accelerating. More than half of Mongolia's population now lives in Ulaanbaatar, a city struggling to keep up with its own growth. Climate change is shifting the land. Summers are getting hotter, winters more unpredictable, and the deadly Zood storms more frequent. The economy is evolving. Mongolia sits on some of the world's richest mineral deposits, fueling a booming mining industry. But at what cost? The question is, can Mongolia modernize without losing its identity? Innovation on the steppe, how Mongolia is fighting back. A herder adjusting a solar panel outside his yurt, his livestock grazing in the background. A time-lapse of a group of Mongolians setting up a wind turbine near a remote settlement. A close-up of a young entrepreneur designing a sustainable housing project in Ulaanbaatar. Mongolia may be facing big challenges, but its people are fighting back with innovation and resilience. Solar-powered yurts. Over 20% of nomadic families now use renewable energy, bringing electricity to the most remote corners of the steppe. Sustainable herding practices. To prevent overgrazing, some communities have returned to traditional rotational grazing methods, while others are using satellite tracking to monitor land health. Eco-friendly architecture. In Ulaanbaatar, architects are developing energy-efficient homes to replace the city's rapidly growing informal settlements. These solutions are helping Mongolians preserve their way of life. without being left behind by the modern world. The mining boom, a blessing or a curse? A massive open-pit mine cutting into the Mongolian landscape. A contrast shot, a herder watching from a distance, his horses grazing near the industrial site. Mongolia is sitting on a gold mine, literally. This country is rich in copper, gold, and coal, resources that the world desperately needs. The mining industry has supercharged Mongolia's economy, bringing in billions of dollars in revenue. In just the past decade, Mongolia's GDP has skyrocketed, driven by foreign investment and resource exports. But here's the problem. This boom is reshaping the country at an alarming rate. Land degradation. Over 70% of Mongolia's pasture land is now at risk due to desertification and mining operations. Pollution. Air quality in Ulaanbaatar ranks among the worst in the world during winter, fueled by coal burning in the city's overcrowded Jur districts. Cultural displacement. Traditional herders, unable to compete with industrialization, are being forced to abandon their ancestral lands. Is Mongolia trading its past for economic survival? Or is there a way to balance progress with preservation? The next generation, guardians of Mongolia's future. A classroom filled with young Mongolian students, eagerly raising their hands. A young woman in traditional Mongolian dress giving a TED-style talk about climate solutions. A coder working on a laptop inside a jar, symbolizing the fusion of old and new. Despite these challenges, there is hope. The next generation of Mongolians is stepping up, blending tradition with technology to forge a new path forward. Education is transforming. Schools across Mongolia are introducing STEM programs, teaching young minds about environmental science, sustainable development, and global economics. Tech startups are on the rise. From fintech to ecotourism, Mongolian entrepreneurs are finding new ways to support their country's growth while protecting its unique identity. A global voice is emerging. More young Mongolians are speaking up on the international stage, advocating for climate action and cultural preservation. Mongolia isn't just adapting, it's leading the way in redefining what it means to be a modern nation, while staying true to its roots. A breathtaking time-lapse of the Mongolian steppe at sunset, golden light washing over the endless plains, casting long shadows. A herder on horseback silhouetted against the horizon, his deal flowing in the wind. A montage of Mongolian life, an elder tending to a fire inside a jur, children playing in the open fields, a family sharing a meal. Mongolia is a land of extremes, a place where the past and present collide, where isolation breeds resilience, where survival isn't just a skill, it's a way of life. But as the world changes, so too does Mongolia. Cities are expanding. Industry is creeping into the untouched wilderness. And climate change threatens the delicate balance that has sustained nomadic life for centuries. The question is, how long can this way of life survive? One side shows a traditional herder on horseback, the other shows a young Mongolian in Ulaanbaatar, scrolling on a smartphone. A slow-motion close-up of a Mongolian child looking out at the vast horizon as if wondering what the future holds. Now we want to hear from you. Could you survive in Mongolia's brutal winters? Do you think nomadic life will endure, or will it vanish in the face of modernization? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through the land of the eternal blue sky, don't forget to like this video to support our channel. Subscribe for more hidden stories from around the world. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our next adventure. A slow fade-out shot of a jur standing alone under a sky full of stars. The sound of wind whistling softly as the screen fades to black. Mongolia may be vast and empty, but its spirit is anything but. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Could you imagine living in a place where a meal means eating leftovers from the garbage and shelter is found among the dead? This isn't just a story, it's the harsh reality faced by thousands in the Philippines. Join Wander Chronicles79 as we take you on a journey into this hidden world, where every day is a fight to survive. Welcome back to Wander Chronicles79. Today we're uncovering a side of the Philippines that few talk about, but many endure. In the slums of Manila, people face unimaginable hardships. They survive off scraps found in trash bins, sleep next to tombstones, and live without basic necessities. In this journey, we'll explore the resilience and strength of these communities, living on the edge every single day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us until the end of this eye-opening story. The floating life, the Bajao, sea gypsies. Imagine a life completely at sea. The Bajao, or sea gypsies, have lived on water for centuries, adapting to survive in a way that most of us can't even imagine. They are born, raised, and spend most of their lives on tiny boats, with the ocean as their only constant. Their entire way of life revolves around the water, from finding food to building family bonds. Did you know? Some Bajau can dive up to 60 meters underwater without any diving gear, holding their breath for over 8 minutes. Scientists have found that the Bajau's spleens are 50% larger than average, helping them hold their breath for extended periods underwater. From an early age, Bajau children are taught to swim, dive, and fish with homemade bamboo goggles. They learn to spear fish with handmade spears and catch sea creatures with bare hands. But with waters polluted by waste from nearby cities, the Bajau's traditional lifestyle faces enormous challenges. Plastic waste, toxic chemicals, and overfishing are diminishing the fish population, pushing the Bajau to deeper waters and dangerous territory. Their very survival is under threat. Yet, despite these hardships, they cling to their way of life, adapting to changes with the resilience they've known for generations. Leaving the vast open seas, let's journey next to the bustling streets of Manila, where thousands search for their next meal in garbage bins. Surviving on trash, the culture of pagpag. In Manila's poorest neighborhoods, families are too poor to afford a single meal, let alone 3. For many, food comes from the trash. This is the culture of pagpag, leftovers salvaged from garbage bins outside fast food restaurants, cleaned, recooked, and served again. Can you imagine relying on discarded food to survive? This isn't just an isolated case. Pagpag has become a survival strategy for many. Trash collectors, known as scrappers, roam around collecting half-eaten pieces of fried chicken, rice, burgers, and other discarded food from restaurant bins. They wash and recook the food, sometimes boiling it multiple times to make it safe. For some, pagpag is the only food they'll eat all day. Children, as young as 5 or 6, join their parents, learning to scavenge from trash bins, viewing it as normal because it's their only reality. Families gather around plates of reheated leftovers as if it's a feast, grateful for the food they've managed to find. It's heartbreaking, yet it shows the desperation these people face and the ways they've adapted to survive. After seeing the desperation for food, we move to a place that may seem even more shocking: cemeteries, where thousands have made their homes. Living among the dead, communities and cemeteries. In the slums of Manila, rent is unaffordable for many. People search for any place with shelter, even if it's among the graves. Could you live among tombstones just to have a roof over your head? The cemeteries of Manila are home to thousands of people. They don't visit graves, they live with them. Tombs become beds, and graveyard walls become places to hang clothes or set up small kitchens. For many, this seems safer than living on the streets, especially when night falls. Entire families call cemeteries their homes. Children grow up playing hide-and-seek among the tombstones, unaware of the stigma attached to their unusual surroundings. People even set up small markets within these graveyards, selling essentials like rice, soap, and snacks. There are small businesses, like makeshift barbershops and mini food stalls, serving those who live among the dead. After meeting these resilient families, let's take a closer look at the children of the slums, who grow up far too quickly under the harshest conditions. Lost childhood, street children. In the slums of Manila, childhood often ends early. Thousands of children live on the streets, working to survive and support their families from a young age. What would you do if, as a child, you had to fend for yourself every single day? For most of these kids, going to school is a dream, not a reality. Instead of classrooms, they learn life skills on the streets, facing dangers that no child should have to encounter. These children sell goods like cigarettes or lottery tickets, run errands, or even beg, trying to make just a few pesos to bring back home. For shelter, many sleep under bridges, in alleys, or on sidewalks, with cardboard boxes as their only comfort. Every day they face hunger, violence, and abuse, learning to navigate a world that doesn't offer them protection. Some turn to petty crime as a means of survival, while others are exploited by gangs and criminal groups who take advantage of their vulnerability. With little to no access to health care, many children suffer from malnutrition, skin diseases, and respiratory issues due to the harsh living conditions. Yet despite all this, they somehow find ways to smile, to play, and to hope for a better future. Moving on from the struggles of these children, we turn to the challenges faced by the women in the slums, who endure unimaginable sacrifices for their families. The women struggling for survival. In these poor neighborhoods, women face perhaps the harshest sacrifices of all. With limited options, some turn to prostitution to earn just enough to buy a meal for their children. Could you risk your health, your safety, just to feed your family? For many women, this choice is not about morals, it's about survival. In these communities, even middle-aged women, and sometimes grandmothers, enter this line of work out of necessity. It's a heartbreaking reality, with little to no social support to help them find another path. These women face constant danger, not only from the work itself, but from the health risks involved. The Philippines has one of the highest rates of HIV/AIDS in Southeast Asia, and many of these women cannot afford medical care. Living in extreme poverty, with few alternatives, they work night after night, driven by a mother's instinct to protect and provide for her children. These stories paint a picture of unimaginable hardships, yet they also reveal the incredible strength of those who face such difficult lives every day. Thank you for joining us on this insightful journey exploring the slums of the Philippines. These communities remind us of the extraordinary resilience of people who fight every day just to survive. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Wander Chronicles79 if you want to explore more hidden and unknown stories from around the world. Which part of this journey moved you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned for our next journey. Mongolia, where hosts have their daughters warm guests throughout the night. Can you believe that in a place somewhere in the world, guests are not only welcomed with food, but also kept warm throughout the night by the host's family? Welcome to Mongolia, a land of wonders, where hospitality knows no limits. Welcome to Wander Chronicles79. Today we're diving into Mongolia, the land of endless grasslands, unparalleled hospitality, and customs that will absolutely astonish you. Join us on a journey filled with surprises and insight into the unique culture of one of the world's most historically rich nations. Hospitality, a tradition beyond all limits. In Mongolia, hospitality isn't just a tradition, it's a means of survival on the harsh steppes. If you're a stranger arriving at a Mongolian home, you'll be welcomed like family, no introductions or prior notice required. Every ger, also known as a yurt, is a home with an open door for guests. Mongolian families don't just share food. They might even offer you a place to sleep and keep warm through the bitter cold of the night. On freezing winter nights, guests may even be cared for and kept warm by the family's daughters, a tradition passed down for generations, symbolizing the depth of Mongolian hospitality. Do you think there's anywhere else in the world where you're treated like family from the very first meeting? From extraordinary hospitality, let's dive deeper into the essential roles of women in Mongolian society, where they're not only warmth bearers, but the very soul of the family. The role of women, the backbone of family and society. Mongolian women play irreplaceable roles within their families. They don't just keep the household together, but also bear significant responsibilities in society. Here, women have to be strong and independent, not only because of the rugged nomadic life, but also due to a striking gender imbalance. In the capital, Ulaanbaatar, there are over 60,000 more women than men, leaving many women unable to find partners and seeking new opportunities in other regions. Women here are responsible for raising children, managing the household, and even handling herding and farming tasks. They are the guardians of culture and the protectors of their families against the challenges of nomadic life. Can you imagine a woman who is both a mother, a farmer, and the defender of her household? And speaking of the challenges that Mongolian women face, we can't skip over ancient customs. Our journey continues with the remarkable traditions of eagle hunting and sky burials, customs not for the faint of heart. The eagle hunting and sky burial rituals. When humans blend with nature, Mongolians, especially the Kazakh people, have a unique tradition: eagle hunting. Hunters train golden eagles, one of the largest birds of prey, to hunt foxes and wolves. Have you ever imagined commanding a massive golden eagle to dive and catch its prey? To hunt with an eagle, a hunter must choose a young eagle and raise it from a young age. Once it matures, the eagle accompanies the hunter on hunts, creating a powerful bond between human and bird. It's not just a ritual, it's a testimony to the bond between humans and nature. Meanwhile, the sky burial ritual is a sacred yet chilling tradition. When someone passes away, they are taken to high places to naturally decompose, returning to Mother Earth. What remains becomes part of the natural world, where their spirit is reborn in the wilderness. Do you think one day we too could return to nature in such a complete way? These customs speak not only to humanity's harmony with nature, but also to the legacy of a great leader, Genghis Khan, who left an indelible mark on Mongolian culture. The legacy of Genghis Khan, from conqueror to national icon. Genghis Khan, a brilliant leader and legendary conqueror, united nomadic tribes and built an empire stretching from Asia to Europe. Today, he's a symbol of national pride, revered and honored as a father of the Mongolian people. In the heart of Ulaanbaatar, a 40-meter-high statue stands in his memory, a reminder of his immense influence on Mongolian history. But Genghis Khan's legacy is not only about military might, He left behind a progressive legal system and a tightly organized society, along with a spirit of religious tolerance. Could you imagine that a powerful conqueror also fostered a society with an advanced legal system and respect for religion? From a glorious history, we return to the present to look at the darker side of modern Mongolian society, where challenges still remain. Domestic violence and economic development challenges. The reality of life in Mongolia is not always as enchanting as its traditions and culture might suggest. A stark issue facing the nation is domestic violence. Studies show that nearly 60% of Mongolian women have experienced some form of abuse within their families. This is not only a problem of individual relationships, but also a reflection of societal and economic pressures that make addressing such issues challenging. Although Mongolian culture deeply values family and community, traditional views still dominate many aspects of life. Gender roles remain rigid in some rural areas, where women are often expected to bear the weight of family responsibilities in addition to any personal struggles. While Mongolia has made strides toward improving women's rights and addressing domestic violence, there is still a long way to go, and the government, as well as local organizations, continue to work hard to foster a safer environment for everyone. Do you think a nation so proud of its heritage and customs can overcome such complex, modern challenges? Aside from social issues, Mongolia's economy is rapidly evolving, and this brings its own set of trials. The nation possesses vast mineral resources, including coal, copper, gold, and uranium, which have attracted significant foreign investments. Mining has become one of Mongolia's largest industries, fueling its economy and providing job opportunities. Yet, it comes with a heavy environmental toll, particularly in the form of air pollution and deforestation. This problem is especially pronounced in Ulaanbaatar, where severe air pollution during the winter has led to a public health crisis. The mining boom has also caused a rapid urban migration, as rural Mongolians leave behind their nomadic way of life to seek economic opportunities in the city. However, as more people flock to the urban areas, housing shortages and overcrowding have become major issues. The sudden shift from traditional lifestyles to an industrialized economy has created a clash between modern development and Mongolia's rich natural landscape, which is now at risk due to the depletion of resources and pollution. How does a country balance the need for development with the preservation of its unique and ancient way of life? Moving from these pressing modern challenges, let's take a closer look at the core of Mongolian identity, their nomadic lifestyle, a connection to nature that goes back thousands of years. The nomadic lifestyle, when nature is the only home. Life on the Mongolian steppes is not for the faint-hearted. The landscape is vast, untamed, and often unforgiving. Here the air is fresh, the skies stretch endlessly, and the silence is punctuated only by the sounds of animals and the occasional wind gust. This is the heart of Mongolia, where nomadic families have thrived for centuries, and nature itself serves as their only constant. Nomads live in gurs, circular tents made from wood and felt, designed to withstand fierce winds and freezing temperatures. A ger can be set up or taken down in less than an hour, allowing families to pack up and move as the seasons change. Moving from one place to another, Mongolian nomads follow ancestral routes to ensure their animals have fresh pastures. Their herds, which may include sheep, goats, yaks, and horses, are their lifeblood, providing meat, milk, wool, and leather essential to their survival. Imagine living a life where your next home could be anywhere, as long as there's grass for your animals. Life here demands resilience and adaptability. In winter, temperatures can plunge below -40 degrees Celsius, making survival a daily challenge. Many families lose livestock to the harsh conditions, as even a single night's freeze can decimate entire herds. Yet, Mongolians have developed countless techniques to adapt to these extreme environments. They conserve resources, make full use of animal products, and follow nature's rhythms to thrive in one of the most challenging climates on Earth. Beyond the practicalities, this nomadic way of life instills a unique worldview, one of deep respect for the natural world. The Mongolian people don't see themselves as separate from nature. They are a part of it. Each migration, each change of season, and each challenge faced in their daily lives is an ongoing cycle of rebirth and renewal. Could you imagine feeling so deeply connected to the land that every move, every decision is made in harmony with the earth around you? As the modern world encroaches, this way of life is increasingly under threat. Young Mongolians, drawn by urban life and economic opportunities, are leaving the steppes. But those who remain are determined to preserve their cultural heritage, balancing the old with the new, proving that the nomadic spirit of Mongolia will endure, even as the world changes around it. Thank you for joining Wander Chronicles79 on this exploration of the mystical land of Mongolia. We've seen everything from their extraordinary hospitality to their unique rituals and the social challenges they face. If you enjoyed these unexpected deep dive stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any future adventures. And share your thoughts with us. Which Mongolian tradition surprised you the most? See you on our next journey. What if I told you there's a country where the currency is so undervalued you can live like royalty, yet it's home to some of the most beautiful women in all of Asia? A place where ancient traditions meet chaotic traffic and every meal is an adventure you'll never forget. Welcome to Vietnam, a land of contrasts, surprises, and stories you won't believe. Hi Wanderers, welcome back to our channel. The channel where we uncover the hidden gems of our incredible world. Today we're diving deep into a country that might just blow your mind, Vietnam. Known for its affordability, breathtaking landscapes, and rich culture, Vietnam also has its quirks that will leave you amazed and maybe a little shocked. From stunning women and bizarre traditions to an unparalleled nightlife and astonishing living costs, Vietnam is a place like no other. So buckle up as we uncover the unexpected secrets of this fascinating country. The grace of Vietnamese women. Let's start with what Vietnam is often celebrated for, its beautiful women. Vietnamese women are admired across the globe for their elegance, charm, and delicate features. Their traditional attire, the áo dai, perfectly highlights their graceful demeanor. This isn't just about beauty. It's a reflection of their deep cultural pride and the centuries-old traditions they honor. But there's more. Vietnamese women are known for their incredible resilience. During the Vietnam War, countless women took on roles as soldiers, medics, and workers. These women weren't just supporting roles. They were frontline heroes, fearlessly fighting for their country's independence. Their courage was immortalized in songs, stories, and even war documentaries that showed their unwavering spirit. Fast forward to today, and you'll find Vietnamese women excelling in every field imaginable. From tech startups to international diplomacy, they've shattered stereotypes to become global influencers. Take the story of Nguyen Thi Phung Thao, Vietnam's first self-made female billionaire and the CEO of Vietjet Air. Her success symbolizes the ambition and determination of Vietnamese women, breaking barriers and setting new standards. Yet, amidst this modern empowerment, Vietnamese women still cherish their family values. They are the heart of their households, seamlessly balancing work and home life while instilling a strong sense of respect and love in their children. It's this blend of beauty, resilience, and devotion that makes Vietnamese women truly remarkable. The low cost of living, live like royalty. Here's a fact that'll make your jaw drop. $1 equals approximately 25,300 Vietnamese dong. Imagine renting a comfortable apartment for just $300 a month, or savoring a delicious street food meal for as little as $1. Vietnam offers an extraordinary lifestyle at a fraction of the cost compared to Western countries. Take Bia Hơi, Vietnam's famous fresh beer. For less than $1, you can enjoy a chilled glass while soaking in the vibrant atmosphere of a roadside pub. It's not just about the price, it's the experience of connecting with locals, sharing laughs, and immersing yourself in the culture. Now let's dive into housing. In cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, expats can find modern apartments with amenities such as swimming pools and gyms for under $600 a month. Step outside the urban centers, and the cost drops even further. In smaller towns like Da Nang or Nha Trang, you can live comfortably for half that amount. Transportation is another area where Vietnam shines. Motorbikes are the primary mode of travel, and renting one costs as little as $50 per month. Public transport, though less developed, is incredibly cheap, with bus fares starting at just 30 cents. But affordability doesn't mean compromising on quality. Vietnam boasts world-class healthcare facilities at a fraction of the cost you'd pay in the West. For example, a comprehensive medical checkup at a private hospital might set you back just $50. It's no wonder that Vietnam is becoming a hotspot for retirees and digital nomads seeking an affordable yet high-quality lifestyle. Bazaar culinary adventures. Now let's talk food, but not just any food. Vietnam is home to some of the most unique dishes you'll ever encounter. Balut, a fertilized duck embryo considered a delicacy. While it may sound unusual, locals swear by its rich flavor and nutritional value. Balut is often paired with herbs, salt, and lime, creating a flavor profile that's both intense and memorable. It's commonly sold by street vendors who've perfected the art of preparing it just right. Thit Kang, a traditional raw blood pudding, often mixed with herbs and spices. It's not for the faint-hearted, but is a must-try for the adventurous foodie. Thit Kang is usually made with duck or pig blood and garnished with peanuts and mint leaves. It's a dish that symbolizes bravery and respect for the animal, as nothing goes to waste. Snake wine. Yes, you heard that right. This potent alcohol features a coiled snake inside the bottle and is believed to have medicinal properties. Would you dare take a sip? Snake wine is often consumed as a tonic, believed to boost vitality and energy. The process involves submerging the snake in rice wine, allowing its essence to infuse over time. But Vietnamese cuisine isn't just about the extreme. Every dish tells a story. Whether it's the humble banh mi, a legacy of French colonialism, or the aromatic pho, which has become a global comfort food. Food in Vietnam isn't just sustenance, it's a celebration of history, culture, and innovation. Even the act of dining is an experience, with bustling street food markets offering a sensory overload of sights, smells, and sounds. These dishes aren't just meals, they're cultural experiences that tell the story of a nation unafraid to embrace its unique identity. Motorbike mania. Vietnam's streets are an adventure in themselves. Picture this. Millions of motorbikes zooming through chaotic traffic, carrying everything from refrigerators to entire families. Motorbikes here aren't just transportation, they're lifelines. Riders navigate the seemingly lawless streets with unmatched skill, weaving through crowds and avoiding collisions with precision. It's a dance of chaos and order, and watching it unfold is a spectacle in its own right. But there's more to this motorbike culture than meets the eye. For many Vietnamese, owning a motorbike is a symbol of independence and freedom. Young adults often save for months or even years to purchase their first bike, which becomes their primary mode of transport for commuting, exploring, and even dating. And then there's the sheer ingenuity of what you'll see on these two-wheeled marvels. Ever seen a motorbike carrying an entire family of 5? Or one laden with towering stacks of eggs, precariously balanced but somehow never falling? In Vietnam, this is just another day on the road. Let's not forget the infamous intersections where traffic lights seem optional, and yet accidents are surprisingly rare. It's a testament to the unwritten rules and unspoken communication that Vietnamese riders master, an impressive skill that leaves tourists in awe. Want to experience it firsthand? Rent a motorbike and join the flow. But beware, it's not for the faint-hearted. Unusual traditions that'll leave you speechless. Vietnam is a treasure trove of fascinating traditions. Teeth blackening. Once considered a sign of beauty and wealth, this practice is now a rare but intriguing glimpse into Vietnam's past. Historically, blackened teeth were seen as a way to distinguish humans from animals and to ward off evil spirits. Although it's no longer common, you might still encounter elders in remote areas proudly sporting this unique feature. Bride kidnapping. Among some ethnic minority groups, this symbolic ritual represents the groom's devotion and is performed with full consent from both families. This ancient custom often involves playful dramatization, where the groom kidnaps the bride in a staged act, symbolizing his determination to marry her. It's a tradition filled with laughter, joy, and community bonding. Spiritual rituals. From spirit possession ceremonies to fortune-telling, these customs offer a window into Vietnam's deep spiritual beliefs. Take the Len Dong ritual, for example, where mediums enter a trance-like state to communicate with spirits. This practice, deeply rooted in Vietnamese culture, blends Buddhism, Taoism, and folk traditions into a mesmerizing spiritual experience. Another fascinating tradition is the Cung Co Hon, or offering to wandering souls, where families prepare elaborate meals to honor and appease spirits without descendants. Every tradition tells a story, and Vietnam's are as colorful as they are captivating. But what makes these customs even more fascinating is their enduring presence in modern society. Even as Vietnam rapidly modernizes, these age-old traditions serve as a reminder of the country's rich cultural tapestry. Would you dare to participate in a spirit possession ceremony? Or perhaps try your hand at fortune-telling? Let us know in the comments below. Nightlife like no other. When the sun sets, Vietnam transforms into a vibrant nightlife hub. Cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City come alive with energy, offering everything from lively clubs to bustling night markets. Ho Chi Minh City, in particular, has earned a reputation for its anything-goes attitude. Bars and clubs cater to all musical tastes, creating an atmosphere where locals and tourists mingle effortlessly. The city's dynamic nightlife is an experience you won't want to miss. The warmth of the Vietnamese people. Beyond the sights and sounds, what truly sets Vietnam apart is its people. Their kindness, hospitality, and willingness to help create an environment where every visitor feels welcome. Imagine being stranded in a remote village, only to have a local offer you food, directions, and even a ride without expecting anything in return. It's this genuine warmth that leaves a lasting impression on everyone who visits. Vietnam is a country of contrasts, a place where ancient traditions meet modern life, and where every corner holds a surprise. From the stunning beauty of its women to its bizarre customs, vibrant nightlife, and warm hospitality, Vietnam is a destination that promises unforgettable experiences. If this video sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. And tell us in the comments, what's the most surprising thing you've learned about Vietnam? Or is there something we missed that you'd like us to cover? Until next time, happy wandering. What if I told you that for just $500 a month, you could live a luxurious life surrounded by majestic palaces and bustling bazaars? Uzbekistan is that country. Welcome to our channel, and today we're diving into Uzbekistan, a country where the cost of living is low, yet the wealth of culture and history is absolutely mesmerizing. From stunning landscapes and warm-hearted people to thousand-year-old stories, Uzbekistan has it all. Stick around to discover how you can enjoy life here on a budget while soaking in the allure of this unique culture. Part 1. Step into the legendary world of Uzbekistan, a gateway of history and culture. We begin our journey in Tashkent, the heart of Uzbekistan, where tradition and modernity blend seamlessly in every street. Tashkent holds over 2,000 years of history from the Silk Road era, preserved in magnificent buildings and ancient markets. Chorsu Market is our first stop, the oldest and largest bazaar in Central Asia. When you step into this market, it feels like you've entered a fairy tale. The market's grand green dome, inspired by the traditional yurt, keeps the space cool, airy, and full of vibrant colors. As you go inside, you'll be captivated by the aroma of spices like coriander, Egyptian dill, and Indian cumin, all specialties of this region. As you go deeper, you'll find countless stalls selling dried fruits like apricots, walnuts, and almonds, along with handicrafts like silk scarves, carpets, and silver jewelry. Imagine yourself here, surrounded by vibrant colors and sounds. How much would you be willing to spend on these beautiful handicrafts? Our journey in Tashkent isn't over yet, but it's time to explore another amazing aspect of this capital, the world's most dazzling subway system. Part 2. Tashkent Metro, a journey through underground artworks. The Tashkent Metro is not just a mode of transportation, it's an underground art museum. Opened in 1977 during the Soviet era, the Tashkent Metro combines various architectural styles, from traditional Uzbek designs to Soviet influences. One of the most famous stations is Cosmonaut Station, which is adorned with sculptures and murals honoring Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman in space. Standing here among murals dedicated to iconic astronauts feels like gazing at the cosmos through the eyes of the Uzbek people. Then there's Alisher Navoy Station, with its tall, vaulted ceilings and dazzling glass mosaics. It embodies Islamic architectural elegance with vibrant colors and intricate designs, leaving every visitor in awe. And the amazing part? A ticket costs only 12 cents, a tiny price for such a rich experience. Each station is a unique world, making a metro ride an unforgettable artistic journey. Have you ever imagined that a subway ride could be this fascinating and inspiring? From these stunning underground stations, let's continue our journey to Samarkand, one of Uzbekistan's priceless gems. Part 3. Samarkand, the jewel of the Silk Road and legendary ancient architecture. Samarkand is an ancient city famed worldwide, not only for its beauty but also for its strategic position along the legendary Silk Road. When Alexander the Great arrived here, he exclaimed he had never seen a place as magnificent as Samarkand. Registan Square, considered the heart of Samarkand, captivates all who visit. The three madrasas, Islamic schools, in this square each boast their own unique and grand architectural styles. Standing here, you can feel the greatness of Islamic civilization and the lively spirit of Central Asia. Besides Registan, Bibi Khanim Mosque is another must-see. This mosque was built by Emperor Timur to honor his beloved wife. Despite the centuries that have passed, the mosque stands strong, a powerful symbol of love and empire. Would you want to witness the grandeur of these thousand-year-old structures? Imagine yourself standing in Registan Square as golden lights illuminate every dome and arch. After admiring these architectural wonders, it's time to explore Uzbekistan's unique culinary heritage. Part 4. Uzbek cuisine, a flavorful history and unique delicacies. Uzbek cuisine isn't just food. It's a living history that dates back centuries, influenced by the many travelers who once crossed the Silk Road. Each dish here is more than a meal. It's a tradition that has been carefully passed down through generations, each bite telling a story of the region's unique cultural blend. Let's start with the iconic plov, also known as pilaf. Plov is the soul food of Uzbekistan. It's made from rice, lamb, onions, carrots, and a blend of spices, creating a warm, hearty dish that's full of flavor. Traditionally, plov is cooked in a kazan, a large cast-iron pot, over an open fire, which gives the rice a smoky depth that can't be replicated any other way. You'll often find plov at weddings, celebrations, and gatherings, where people come together to share in its rich, savory taste. In some areas, you may even see the chef cooking a massive pot that serves hundreds of people. A mesmerizing sight as they stir and season the rice with practiced precision. Another must-try is shashlik, skewered meat that's grilled over hot coals until it's perfectly charred on the outside and juicy on the inside. It's served with fresh herbs and a tangy vinegar-based sauce that cuts through the richness of the meat, giving each bite a burst of flavor. The combination of smoky, tender meat with the freshness of herbs is unforgettable. Uzbekistan is also known for its delicious breads. Naan, or flatbread, is a staple here, often baked in clay ovens known as tandirs. Each naan has a unique design, stamped with intricate patterns that symbolize the region it comes from. Some varieties are sprinkled with sesame or poppy seeds, adding a nutty flavor and crunchy texture. For dessert, try chak chak, a sweet treat made of fried dough drenched in honey and topped with nuts. Each piece of chak chak is crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside, making it a delightful finish to any meal. If you're a tea lover, you're in for a treat. Green tea is the national drink, often served in chaihanas, traditional tea houses, where you can enjoy it while chatting with friendly locals. Tea is served in delicate cups, and you'll find that each sip is like a warm embrace, symbolizing the deep hospitality of the Uzbek people. Imagine a full meal of these traditional dishes. How does it sound to experience the warmth of Uzbek hospitality with each bite? And all of this for only $15 to $20. We've explored Uzbekistan's rich cuisine, but now let's turn to the mysterious allure of Uzbek women. Part 5. Uzbek women, a unique blend of tradition and modernity. Uzbek women embody a beauty that's both exotic and familiar, with features that combine elements from both the East and West. Their large, expressive eyes, smooth skin, and sleek black hair often catch the eye of travelers, and their clothing choices reflect a harmony of tradition and sophistication. Clothing plays an essential role in Uzbek culture. Young women often wear bright colors like reds and pinks, symbolizing youth and vitality. Older women prefer softer shades like light blues and grays, which reflect elegance and maturity. During festivals and special occasions, you'll see them dressed in atlas and adras fabrics, traditional textiles known for their bold, colorful patterns that carry deep cultural meaning. These fabrics are usually handcrafted, and their vibrant colors and unique designs make each outfit a piece of art. One unique tradition that sets Uzbek women apart is the custom of blackening teeth, a practice that was once seen as a mark of nobility and wealth. While this tradition has mostly faded, you may still find older women in rural areas who keep this practice alive, giving them a distinctive, regal look that's truly one of a kind. Gold is also a big part of Uzbek culture, especially for women. During weddings and special occasions, you'll see brides adorned in layers of gold jewelry, from necklaces and bracelets to earrings and rings. Gold isn't just a symbol of wealth here, it represents blessings and good fortune. On average, a bride might wear between 1 to 2 kilograms of gold on her wedding day, a custom passed down through generations. The sight of a bride shimmering in gold jewelry is a testament to the value placed on tradition and family bonds. Isn't it fascinating to see such a unique mix of old traditions and new styles? What do you think of this blend of history and modernity? Now that we've seen the beauty of Uzbek women and their rich traditions, let's uncover the secrets behind Uzbekistan's incredibly low cost of living. Part 6: Low Cost of Living, Luxury Lifestyle on a Budget. Uzbekistan's cost of living is one of the most attractive aspects for both travelers and those considering a long-term stay. Imagine enjoying a comfortable, even luxurious lifestyle without breaking the bank. A one-bedroom apartment in the heart of Tashkent, the capital, costs only $300 to $400 per month. If you choose to live in a suburban area or smaller city, the rent could be as low as $200 per month. For comparison, that's a fraction of what you'd pay in most Western cities. Utilities like electricity, water, and heating are also very affordable, ranging from $30 to $50 per month. This low cost allows residents to live comfortably without worrying about high bills. And it doesn't stop there. Food in Uzbekistan is just as budget-friendly. Fresh produce, meat, and other groceries are readily available in local markets for $150 to $250 a month for one person. You can find street food for as little as $1 or $2, while a meal at a casual restaurant will only set you back $2 to $4. Even transportation is extremely affordable. A single trip on the subway or bus costs about 10 to 20 cents, and a monthly public transport pass is only around $10. Taxis are also inexpensive, with most rides costing $1 to $3. If you want to indulge in luxury, Uzbekistan has you covered. A night at a 5-star hotel only costs about $150, allowing you to experience high-end amenities without the high price tag. Entertainment, such as going to the movies, is also affordable, with tickets costing just $3 to $5. Could you see yourself living in a place where life is this affordable? With living costs like these, Uzbekistan truly feels like a hidden gem. With such a low cost of living, Uzbekistan offers a unique mix of luxury and affordability. Now let's dive into the vibrant festivals that bring this culture to life. Part 7: Colorful Festivals and Unique Cultural Traditions. Uzbekistan's festivals are where the country's rich traditions come to life, filled with music, dance, and vibrant colors. One of the most celebrated festivals is Nowruz, the Uzbek New Year, which marks the arrival of spring and a time of renewal. During Nowruz, families clean their homes, make special preparations, and gather with loved ones to enjoy traditional dishes and share in the festive spirit. Streets are filled with musicians, dancers, and performances of folk music, creating an atmosphere of joy and excitement. A unique part of Nowruz is sumalak, a sweet dish made from wheat and prepared over many hours, symbolizing prosperity for the year ahead. Large cauldrons are used, and families take turns stirring the dish while sharing stories and laughter. This communal cooking process creates a sense of togetherness and unity, reflecting the spirit of the holiday. Another major event is Shark Taranalari, or Melodies of the East, an international music festival held every 2 years at Registan Square in Samarkand. This festival draws musicians from all over the world to perform in front of the magnificent backdrop of ancient madrasas, creating a breathtaking fusion of music and history. Traditional Uzbek instruments like the dutar and tanbur produce hauntingly beautiful sounds, and the sight of performers dressed in colorful costumes against the historic architecture of Samarkand is truly mesmerizing. This festival is a reminder of Uzbekistan's historic role as a cultural crossroads where East meets West. The Karakalpakstan Art Festival is another remarkable celebration held in the autonomous region of Karakalpakstan in western Uzbekistan. This festival showcases traditional Karakalpak art, music, and dance, allowing visitors to experience the unique culture of this region, which has its own language and heritage. Beyond the major festivals, local bazaars often turn into celebrations themselves, with lively exchanges between vendors and buyers, the aroma of spices and the calls of merchants echoing through the air. Visiting a bazaar during these times feels like stepping into a scene from centuries past, where traders from the east and west met to exchange goods. Imagine yourself standing in the bustling square during Nowruz or Shark Taranalati, surrounded by music, dance, and vibrant traditions. Would you want to join in these timeless celebrations? Uzbekistan is a land where culture, history, and modern life coexist in harmony. From its mouth-watering cuisine and warm-hearted people to the breathtaking architecture and incredibly affordable lifestyle, Uzbekistan has something to offer everyone. If you're as fascinated by this country as we are, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing journeys. Tell us in the comments, which part of Uzbek life captured your heart the most? Stay tuned for more adventures, and see you in the next video. Imagine living in a country where loneliness is a public health crisis, work consumes your life, and even the act of dying can leave a financial burden on your family. Shocking, isn't it? Yet, this is the harsh reality for many in Japan. Why is this happening? And why are more and more people reluctant to settle in this fascinating yet challenging country? Let's dive deep into the hidden truths about life in Japan that no one talks about. Hi everyone, welcome back to Wander Chronicles79, where we uncover the world's most intriguing stories and hidden realities. Today we're exploring a topic that's as surprising as it is thought-provoking: why nobody wants to live in Japan. Japan is a land of incredible beauty, cutting-edge technology, and rich cultural heritage. Yet beneath its polished exterior lies a society grappling with profound challenges. From crushing work culture to an aging population and unexpected social issues, the reasons are far from simple. Stick around because we're uncovering 10 shocking reasons that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about Japan. And don't miss our special segment at the end where we'll discuss the big question: is Japan truly a paradise or just a polished illusion? Japan, with its towering skyscrapers, cutting-edge technology, and rich cultural heritage, often seems like the epitome of a modern, connected society. But behind the glittering lights, an epidemic of loneliness is quietly spreading, claiming millions of lives, both figuratively and literally. Storytelling moment. Meet Hiroshi, a 35-year-old man who hasn't left his apartment in over a decade. His days consist of watching TV shows, playing video games, and ordering food delivery. Nothing else. He used to work in an office, but the demands of corporate life wore him down. The long hours, the relentless pressure to perform, and the feeling of being invisible among thousands of other workers eventually led him to withdraw from society entirely. Hiroshi is part of the hikikomori phenomenon, a term that refers to individuals who withdraw from social life and isolate themselves in their homes. There are over 1 million people like Hiroshi in Japan, and they represent the tip of an iceberg. Japan's loneliness epidemic is not just limited to hikikomori, it permeates all age groups. Many elderly people live their final years without visitors, while young people struggle to form meaningful relationships in a culture where social expectations are high and the pressure to conform is immense. How could such a technologically advanced society fail to combat loneliness? The answer lies in Japan's cultural norms, where emotional expression is often suppressed and individualism is frowned upon. Stay with us as we uncover more about this crisis. In Japan, work is not just a means to an end, it's a way of life. The concept of salaryman is deeply embedded in the culture, where individuals dedicate their entire lives to their employers. Yet this work-driven culture is costing lives. Storytelling moment. Take the tragic story of Miwa Sato, a young journalist who worked tirelessly for her news station. Miwa, like many others, worked grueling hours, often 100 or more overtime hours per month. She collapsed at her desk one fateful night, a victim of karoshi, death by overwork. Her death, while tragic, was not an isolated incident. In fact, the Japanese government has officially recognized karoshi as a legal cause of death, a chilling reminder of the pressure and exhaustion felt by millions of workers in the country. But Miwa's story is just one of many. Imagine being expected to stay late every night, missing out on family time, and sacrificing personal well-being for the company. This is a reality for many in Japan. It's not uncommon for workers to go for days without taking proper breaks, eating irregularly, and suffering from extreme fatigue. The competitive and hierarchical corporate environment demands perfection at the cost of health and happiness. Japan's work culture is built on an unspoken rule. Sacrifice your personal life for the company, and you will be rewarded with job security and status. Yet this comes at a devastating price. Japan is facing an impending crisis that no other nation has experienced at such a scale: the aging of its population. With one of the world's highest life expectancies and a rapidly declining birth rate, Japan's demographic landscape is shifting drastically. Storytelling moment. In rural Japan, entire villages are being abandoned as elderly residents pass away, and younger generations leave in search of work in the cities. These small villages, once bustling with families and children, are now eerily silent. Schools have closed down, and houses sit empty, slowly decaying. The few remaining elderly residents are left to care for themselves, without the support of a younger workforce. To cope with the isolation, some of these villages have begun using lifelike dolls to replace the lost human presence. These dolls, often dressed in traditional Japanese clothing, sit in empty homes as a symbolic gesture of maintaining community spirit. What happens when more than a quarter of a nation's population is over the age of 65? The implications extend far beyond just healthcare. It's a complete reshaping of the economy, labor market, and social infrastructure. Japan's cities, particularly Tokyo, are infamous for their sky-high living costs. Housing prices in these urban areas are exorbitant, and daily expenses can quickly add up, making life in Japan a financial strain for many residents. Storytelling moment. Meet Akiko, a single mother living in the heart of Tokyo. Akiko works 2 jobs to make ends meet. Her tiny one-room apartment is a far cry from the spacious homes many envision when they think of Japan. Every month, she struggles to pay her rent, her utility bills, and her child's education expenses. Despite her best efforts, she can barely afford to buy groceries and often skips meals to make sure her child has enough to eat. Akiko's story highlights a widespread issue in Japan. While the country is technologically advanced, its cost of living is among the highest in the world. Tokyo has some of the highest rent rates in the world, with a small, modest apartment costing thousands of dollars a month. Combine that with the cost of healthcare, transportation, and food, and it becomes clear that Japan's high standard of living is out of reach for many people. Despite Japan's global reputation for technological advancement and innovation, mental health issues are still considered taboo in many circles. The pressure to conform and maintain appearances often leads people to bottle up their emotions and avoid seeking help. Storytelling moment. Takashi, a university student in Tokyo, had been battling depression for years. But every time he thought about seeking help, the overwhelming fear of being judged stopped him. In Japan, people who show signs of weakness or vulnerability are often viewed with disdain, especially in the professional world. Takashi's story ended tragically when he took his own life, unable to cope with the weight of his mental health struggles in a society that values stoicism and silence. The stigma surrounding mental health in Japan is deeply ingrained in the culture. Even though suicide rates have been steadily increasing, many people still refuse to acknowledge mental health problems as real issues, and mental health professionals are often overwhelmed with cases. Seeking therapy is seen as a sign of failure rather than a step toward healing. Japan's position in global gender equality rankings has long been at the bottom, with women facing significant barriers in the workplace and society at large. Storytelling moment. Yuki, a brilliant lawyer in Tokyo, faced daily challenges in her career. Despite her qualifications and dedication, she was passed over for promotions in favor of male colleagues. Her salary was consistently lower than that of her male counterparts, and she was expected to prioritize her family over her career. Yuki's story is not unique. Many women in Japan struggle with the same barriers: limited career opportunities, wage gaps, and societal pressure to fulfill traditional roles as wives and mothers. Women in Japan are often forced to choose between their careers and their families. The work culture, combined with outdated gender norms, makes it incredibly difficult for women to thrive in the professional world. As a result, many highly educated women leave their careers behind to become full-time mothers, reinforcing the gender disparities that persist across generations. Japan is known for its reluctance to open its doors to immigrants, despite facing an aging population and labor shortages. Storytelling moment. David, an English teacher from Canada, moved to Japan to teach after university. Despite living in Japan for over a decade, David still felt like an outsider. His lack of fluency in Japanese and his foreign appearance made it difficult to connect with locals. He faced significant cultural and linguistic barriers, which made integrating into Japanese society almost impossible. David's experience is shared by many foreigners living in Japan. The country's strict immigration policies and cultural insularity make it challenging for outsiders to feel truly at home. Japan is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which makes it prone to frequent natural disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, and typhoons. These disasters are an ever-present part of life, and despite Japan's advanced technology and preparedness, the human toll is still immense. Storytelling moment. In March 2011, Japan was struck by the Tohoku earthquake, a magnitude 9.0 quake that triggered a massive tsunami, devastating the northeastern coastline. Entire towns were swept away by the ferocious waves, and the aftermath left over 18,000 dead or missing. The impact on Japan's Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant caused widespread radiation fears, further compounding the national trauma. While Japan's infrastructure, including early warning systems, is among the best in the world, the scale of the disaster exposed vulnerabilities in disaster response and recovery efforts. For survivors like Yuki, the 2011 earthquake and tsunami represent not just a moment in time, but an ongoing struggle. Yuki lost her home in the floodwaters that came from the tsunami, and her family was displaced for years. "I thought we would rebuild and move on quickly," she says, but the emotional scars are deep. The fear of another earthquake, the uncertainty, and the trauma linger. It's something I'll never fully escape. Yuki's experience is shared by thousands of others who are still struggling to rebuild their homes and their lives, and many of them live in constant anxiety of the next big disaster. Japan's disaster preparedness has saved many lives, with sophisticated early warning systems and evacuation drills that are drilled into the nation's consciousness from a young age. Yet, for many people, it's impossible to erase the fear of the next natural calamity. Earthquakes, no matter how minor, can trigger panic. Even with all the safety precautions, the knowledge that another catastrophic event could be just around the corner weighs heavily on the mind. But it's not just the damage from the disasters themselves. What happens when the ground shakes, the water rises, and the storm hits? The emotional toll, the displacement, and the haunting fear of the next disaster often have far-reaching effects that don't disappear overnight. Join us as we explore how Japan copes with this constant anxiety. Kotokushi, or lonely death, is a growing phenomenon in Japan. With an aging population and increasingly isolated communities, many elderly people die alone and are not discovered until days or even weeks later. This silent epidemic of loneliness is exacerbated by the rigid societal structure, which often makes it difficult for people to form close relationships or maintain social connections. Storytelling moment. Take the story of Mr. Tanaka, a 72-year-old man who lived alone in a small apartment in Osaka. For years, he had been a regular visitor to the local neighborhood store, where he would chat briefly with the owner. But over time, Mr. Tanaka's visits became less frequent. One morning, his neighbors noticed that the blinds in his apartment were drawn and his door remained locked. After several days of no contact, they became concerned. When the landlord opened the door, they discovered that Mr. Tanaka had passed away quietly in his home, alone, with no one to notice for nearly a week. The concept of kotokushi has become so common in Japan that specialized companies have emerged to deal with the aftermath. These lonely death cleaning services are hired to clean apartments where individuals have passed away alone. Workers often encounter bodies in varying states of decomposition, and the apartments are filled with items that remain untouched by loved ones. For many elderly people, the absence of family and the shrinking social circle means that their final moments go unnoticed. Social isolation is an unfortunate byproduct of Japan's aging society. The younger generation, struggling with work pressures and family responsibilities, is often unable to care for aging relatives. Meanwhile, rural areas face depopulation, leaving elderly residents stranded without a support system. There is a stigma around seeking help in Japan, where it's still considered shameful to admit that one is struggling with loneliness. In a country where self-reliance is highly valued, those who are unable to live independently or maintain a social network often suffer in silence. For the elderly, this loneliness is compounded by the loss of friends and family members who have passed away over the years. As health deteriorates and mobility becomes a challenge, many elderly citizens are left to face the realities of growing old alone. But behind this tragic phenomenon lies a deeper question. How did Japan, one of the most technologically advanced societies in the world, allow an entire segment of its population to die in isolation? The solution is not just about caregiving, it's about changing the very fabric of social relationships. In response to this crisis, local governments have begun offering more programs for elderly care. But these efforts are still not enough to fully combat the isolation many elderly citizens face. Initiatives like friendly visiting programs, where volunteers regularly check on elderly citizens living alone, are helping to reduce the number of lonely deaths, but much more needs to be done. As Japan's population continues to age, the issue of kotokushi is becoming an urgent public health concern, with calls for a shift in cultural attitudes toward aging and loneliness. The elderly in Japan, who once played a vital role in family life, now find themselves in a system that is not equipped to care for them. For many, the only solution is to face death alone. Education in Japan is highly regarded, with a rigorous system that has produced some of the world's most disciplined and skilled individuals. However, this comes at a significant cost to students and their families, who face immense pressure to succeed in a hyper-competitive environment. Storytelling moment. Aiko, a 16-year-old high school student, spends her days attending school and her evenings at a cram school, or juku, preparing for university entrance exams. Her weekends are no respite, filled with mock tests and endless study sessions. The pressure is overwhelming, as her future seemingly depends on achieving high scores in these life-defining exams. For Aiko, failure is not an option, as societal and familial expectations weigh heavily on her young shoulders. Japan's education system has often been described as a pressure cooker, where children are pushed to their limits from an early age. The intense focus on rote memorization and standardized testing leaves little room for creativity or personal growth. The result? Many students experience burnout, anxiety, and depression, even before entering adulthood. Parents, too, feel the strain, spending significant portions of their income on tuition, tutoring, and exam preparation materials. The cycle of pressure affects entire families, creating a culture where academic achievement is prioritized above all else. What happens when a nation's youth are burdened with such intense expectations? The long-term mental health effects are profound, raising questions about whether this system truly prepares students for life or simply drains them of it. Japan, despite its outward image of perfection, is grappling with deep societal issues that affect millions of its citizens. The country's challenges, loneliness, work culture, aging population, cost of living, mental health stigma, gender inequality, and more, paint a much more complicated picture than what tourists and outsiders often see. But amidst these challenges, there's hope. A new generation of Japanese citizens is beginning to question the status quo, advocating for change in work culture, gender equality, and mental health awareness. As Japan continues to evolve, the hope is that these issues will be addressed, allowing future generations to live in a society that balances both tradition and progress. What do you think? Would you still want to live in Japan? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next episode, where we uncover the dark secrets of another global destination. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next adventure. What if I told you that the secret to the beauty and strength of Mongolian women isn't just in their appearance, but in their powerful customs and spiritual practices that have shaped their society for centuries? You'll be shocked by what you're about to discover. Welcome back to our channel, the place where we explore the hidden stories and astonishing cultures from every corner of the world. And today, we're diving deep into a topic that's going to change everything you thought you knew about Mongolian women. In this video, we'll uncover the secret behind their beauty, their strength, and their influence in ways you've never imagined. From shocking marriage customs to their powerful role in shamanism, the mystical practices that connect them to the spirit world, Mongolian women are unlike anything you've seen before. So, if you think you know everything about Mongolian culture, think again. Stick around, because we're about to reveal some truly mind-blowing facts that'll make you rethink the way we view women's roles across the world. Are you ready to discover the untold story? Let's jump right in. When thinking of Mongolian women, many might picture sharp features and smooth skin. But have you ever wondered whether this beauty is just skin deep, or is there something deeper, formed from the way they live, work, and survive in such a challenging environment? Imagine this: growing up in an environment as harsh as the Mongolian steppes, where you face cutting winds, heavy snowfalls, and rocky paths. From a young age, you're taught how to survive in these conditions. Mongolian girls, in particular, are pampered. They learn how to tend to livestock, care for horses, and endure hardships without much help from their family. This is how their physical strength is formed, and not only that, but this strength also reflects in their spirit. Their work is not just about labor, but a journey of perseverance. They work outdoors for hours, ride horses across vast lands, and never seem to tire. When you look into the eyes of these women, you see not just beauty, but determination and resilience, qualities that help them sustain life and succeed no matter what. As for physical beauty, the truth is, Mongolian women rarely use makeup or modern skincare products. They maintain their skin through natural resources. They use herbs, plant oils, and animal fats to moisturize their skin. They also believe that being close to nature and living in harmony with it helps preserve their beauty, not just physically, but spiritually. Now you might be wondering, how can such a society exist? How can these Mongolian women maintain beauty that is both strong and delicate? And here's the interesting part. The key lies in their horseback culture. In Mongolia, horses are not just a means of transportation, they are an integral part of culture and daily life. If you think horses are merely used for travel, you're mistaken. In Mongolia, horses are companions, lifelines, and vehicles to sustain an ancient nomadic civilization. From a very young age, Mongolian girls are taught to ride horses, and it's not the kind of riding you see in fairy tales. This is horseback riding to move across vast pastures, herd livestock, and even participate in local horse races. What's truly astonishing is that in Mongolia, girls under 10 years old can already ride horses alone over long distances, sometimes even to gather supplies for the family. The ability to ride is not just a skill, it's a symbol of strength, independence, and beauty. So why horses? Why are these animals so vital in their lives? The answer is simple. Horses are a part of their souls. They help them overcome life's hardships, and they are companions in survival. And if you think riding is just about getting from one place to another, try to imagine you have to ride a horse to herd livestock and brave extreme weather conditions. When Mongolian women ride horses, they aren't just riding, they are mastering their environment. They are warrior women in the world of the steppes, and that makes them strong, independent, and carry a proud beauty. But hold on, do you think this horse culture is the only part of Mongolian women's lives? To better understand the true power Mongolian women have in society, let's explore their unique marriage customs. When it comes to marriage, most of the world believes that men should be the ones in control, deciding who they marry and when. But in Mongolia, these strong, resilient women have the unique ability to take charge in one of the most important decisions of their lives: whom they marry. In some traditional Mongolian nomadic communities, women can propose marriage to the man they love. A practice that may seem shocking to many, but it's not just accepted. It is a long-standing and revered tradition. This practice is deeply rooted in the culture of empowerment and equality that Mongolian women have carried for centuries. Imagine this scenario. A Mongolian girl with all her strength, confidence, and a sense of self-respect approaches the man she admires and boldly declares, "I want to marry you." And in Mongolian society, this is not seen as unusual or wrong, but rather as a symbol of strength, self-assurance, and a reflection of a deep understanding of what it means to be in control of one's own future. This concept might be foreign to many cultures around the world, where women often follow strict rules and traditions, and where their choices regarding marriage are limited or even disregarded. In some societies, women still have little say in choosing their partners, let alone taking the lead in the decision-making process. But in Mongolia, things are fundamentally different. Here, women don't wait passively for proposals. They actively choose their partner and take charge of their marital future. This is an incredibly empowering aspect of Mongolian culture. Women are not just the ones who keep the home fires burning. They are also the ones who shape the future of their families, making decisions with strength, wisdom, and agency. This reflects the very core of Mongolian identity, a culture that thrives on freedom, independence, and respect for women's autonomy. It challenges conventional norms and emphasizes the belief that marriage should be a partnership founded on equality and mutual respect. And for Mongolian women, their autonomy in choosing a partner speaks volumes about their role in society. They are leaders, not followers. But wait, there's something even more shocking about Mongolian women's role in society. Mongolian women don't just take the reins in their personal lives. They also play a vital role in religion, spiritual practices, and the cultural fabric of the country. Are you ready to uncover the spiritual power that lies at the heart of Mongolia's mystical traditions? Let's dive deeper into how Mongolian women not only influence the spiritual growth of their communities, but also hold immense spiritual power themselves. Shamanism is not just a belief in Mongolia. It is an integral part of the culture, deeply intertwined with the lives of its people. For centuries, Mongolians have relied on shamans, individuals who act as a bridge between the physical world and the spirit world. However, what many might find surprising is that women have historically played a central role in shamanistic practices. In fact, women are the primary shamans in many communities across Mongolia, revered not only for their healing abilities, but also for their spiritual wisdom and connection to the divine. These women are not merely healers or ritualists. They are revered as spiritual leaders who serve as intermediaries between humans and the spirit world. They are the ones who communicate with spirits, seek guidance from ancestral spirits, and perform rituals to ensure the well-being of the community. Whether it's curing sickness, offering protection from evil spirits, or ensuring good fortune in the coming harvest, these women shamans are seen as possessing a deep, mystical knowledge that connects them to the unseen forces of the universe. What makes their role even more fascinating is how powerful and influential these women are. As spiritual leaders, they are often consulted for major decisions in the community, ranging from land disputes to important rituals and celebrations. Their wisdom and guidance are highly respected by both men and women, and their word often carries immense weight in matters of life and death. But it's not just about power, it's about balance. Mongolian women shamans don't wield their spiritual authority for personal gain. Instead, they use their connection to the spiritual realm to serve others, to ensure the prosperity of the land, and to protect their families and communities from harm. They are deeply tied to the earth, the elements, and the ancestral spirits. They are guardians of traditions, ensuring that the knowledge of the past is passed down to future generations. This practice of female-led shamanism shows just how deeply empowered Mongolian women are within their society. It's not just about their role in marriage, family, or daily chores. Their spiritual influence is one of the strongest pillars in Mongolian culture. These women are more than just wives, mothers, and daughters. They are spiritual leaders, guides, and healers, helping to shape the future of their communities through their profound connection to the supernatural. In fact, many Mongolian women still turn to shamans for advice and protection during life's most important moments. From birth to death, shamans play a crucial role in guiding individuals through the most pivotal points of their lives, ensuring that every transition is aligned with spiritual forces. What's even more astonishing is that this practice has remained steadfast despite Mongolia's modernization. Even in the midst of urbanization and the spread of global religions, shamanism, especially led by women, continues to hold immense cultural significance. So when you think of the strength and beauty of Mongolian women, remember that their power extends beyond the physical realm. Their role as spiritual leaders highlights the richness and depth of their contributions to Mongolian society, proving that their influence is truly multidimensional. They are both the heart and the soul of their communities. When you think about Mongolian women, don't just think of them as women of beauty. They are warrior women, leaders in their society, and the pillars of their culture. They don't just work hard to sustain their families and communities, they also define the future of Mongolia. What are your thoughts on the lives of Mongolian women? Share with us in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to explore more amazing cultures from around the world.